That's not the intro. I don't know what it is. Welcome back to Wham Bam. Thank you, Jams. We highlight new music
and some old
that deserves acknowledgement and thanks.
Wham Bam.
Thank you, Jams.
Today we are going to be discussing the one, the only, Young Biebs the God, Justin,
and his album Justice.
Normally we like to give background on the artist when we do this, and sometimes it's, you know, even if it's a popular artist, I feel like it's a little bit more relevant. Like we did Kings of Leon last week, and I feel like they're popular, but people don't know them.
Know their background maybe, or like where it came from.
However, this time we're talking about Justin Bieber. So if you don't know who that is, you probably live on another planet.
Crawl back under the biggest rock and stay there.
He's like Michael Jackson level of popularity at this point, so there's really nothing that we need to say. It's Justin.
He's enormous.
It's Justin. Genre is pop, as it's always been since the very first day of his career. I think he's tried to do some other things throughout his career and kind of switch it up a little bit more hip-hop, a little bit more R&B influence. It's still pop, and it will always be, and good for him, you know?
Yeah.
Members of the group, Justin, Bieber,
and Justin Bieber.
The three-piece.
Also, Justin Bieber.
And Justin. There's a French guy in there.
Yeah.
Location, Canada.
He's from Canada.
He's from Canada.
Again, if you didn't know that, then crawl back under the rock.
Brief history. Justin Bieber. When he was a kid, he was famous and got the sign from Usher and had a major hit called Baby featuring Ludacris.
Luda!
Which is still, I think, to this day, the most viewed YouTube video of all time.
Is it really?
I think so.
Jesus. So about this project, it's called Justice, which obviously is on the nose. Justin also means justice. Right there. Right off the bat, there's an MLK speech at the beginning, or like a little snippet, a little sample, and then there is in the middle of the album, he does a speech.
It's like a 2-minute.
That is in there. And that makes sense with the name, about justice, and with all the things that have been going on with the Black Lives Matter movement and all the injustices in the world. I think he wanted to highlight that. Some people not have taken exception to it, but have just kind of been questioning what that had to do with the album, which is entirely about his wife.
Yeah.
It is a love album through and through. It's very good, and it's very catchy. It's right in his lane, and there's already like 5 singles that are probably in the top like 40 charts, you know?
Yeah.
But the whole MLK bringing light to the injustices of the world, it doesn't seem like it fits. It's not cohesive, as we like to say.
At all. He put it in there, and it's, you know, it just, if we're just going to talk about the album itself, there is no song that has anything to do with MLK, injustices, Black Lives, anything like that. It's just a love album, as Bieber knows how to do and does very, very well.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's done a lot. He spoke out a lot last year during George Floyd and the protests, and
he used his platform.
He used his platform really well, and he talked a lot about, you know, organizations that you can donate to, and was very like prominently open and outspoken about it.
Right.
And I think at the end of the day, he just wanted to include this because he knows that his platform is going to get he knew that this album was going to make millions. He knew that it was going to reach millions.
Yeah.
It's the new Justin Bieber album.
You go into the local CVS, it's on.
Bieber.
You go into the local H&M,
Bieber.
It's on.
Bieber.
Bieber.
So
Blasted by Bieber.
Yeah, so I mean, he always makes the cut. He just wanted to put something out that was, even if it has nothing to do with the music, at least he's bringing awareness to it, and he's bringing it to a lot of people that may not still be aware of it or listen to it. And some people fucking worship Justin Bieber. If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for other people, I guess. And that's kind of, I think, the reasoning why he put it on the album.
He said in an interview that he wanted to spread awareness to Martin Luther King, to the new generation, to the younger generations. And that will happen. Someone out there will be reached by one of the speeches that is on this album, and they will go, oh, this MLK guy, he's saying something poignant.
That is poignant.
Yeah, so hopefully it reaches out to those young kids and people that love him, because it will happen. Now, does it go with the album really at all? No.
Is it Justin Bieber's place to make a bunch of music about talking about Black Lives Matter? I don't even know if that's really true.
So he threw it on there. It's going to touch some people, and that's okay.
Yeah, but at least it's there. It's important. He got the sign off from MLK's daughter saying, thank you so much for all of your support, all your donations, all of your awareness. And at the end of the day, isn't that what's really important here?
Yes. On to the music. It's fucking catchy as shit.
It's awesome.
There's so many good songs. There's really, I can't pinpoint a song that I disliked.
Yeah.
I think there's levels of songs that I think stood out compared to others. But really, it is a fun listen all the way through. It's very much a love album. It's very positive. It's very upbeat, which is great because J. Biebs has been through it in previous albums.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like he's happy for the first time in a long time,
Yeah.
which is great. Good for him.
Well, he's got a banging wife that he obviously deeply loves.
Yeah.
So
good for him.
good for you, Biebs.
On to tracks. What are some of the tracks that stood out to you?
So this is 16 tracks, which feels long, but it's really only 45 minutes.
Yeah.
These songs go really quick, as pop songs do. Yeah. And even some of these I feel like are like even shorter for pop songs. Like there's not one that's really over 3 minutes. Like even the ones that are is like
barely over.
3:20 is the highest that it's over. So it's not even really like the full like pop standard. Some of these are just really quick, which is good. It moves well. I love the track Deserve You. I love the track As I Am with Khalid. I think those are really, really strong opening tracks for the album. Holy is a great song. Obviously, we've already heard that. It was a single that he put out with Chance the Rapper early on. It's a beautiful track. The second part of the album really got me. The Dominic Fike track, Die For You, is really great. Hold On right after that is really great. Somebody is a really good song. Ghost is one of my favorites.
You're literally
Peaches. Dude,
it's going down.
It's
He's
literally
going
that
down.
good, man.
They are very good.
They really are, and they all flow well. They all sound good. They're produced, obviously, of course, so well, because that's going to come with the territory.
The songs that stuck out to me, besides the ones that were already out, Peaches is the one. It's the newest single, and it is fucking catchy as shit.
Big chef's kiss.
The one that you liked, the second track on the album, Deserve Me,
Or Deserve You,
has he talked about there's a little Phil Collins influence there.
Ooh, maybe that's why I like it so much.
Yeah. The first part of the album's got a little bit of the 80s synth going on, and there's a heavy drum, and there's a little drum breakdown. And Justin Bieber, I actually watched a thing on this on The Tonight Show. He's a really excellent drummer. He is an excellent drummer.
Yeah.
He and what's his name? The drummer for Roots.
Oh, Questlove.
Questlove did a drum off together, and they've done it twice. The second time, Justin Bieber brought the heat,
That's dope.
and Questlove got up and walked out of the room. It was awesome. It was so good.
That's really good to hear,
yeah.
especially from somebody like Bieber, who obviously is going to get a bad rep in general for being like Bieber. I mean,
He's a phenomenal musician.
But, you don't equate that to Justin Bieber when you think of Justin Bieber. You don't think, oh, he's really good at I've seen him on award shows and things like that, like come out and all of a sudden he's playing drums, and it seemed a little simple to me, and I was like, oh, they're just doing this to be gimmicky,
No.
But it's really nice to see that, he's taking the craft really seriously, and he's become a great musician.
Go find that clip. It's really entertaining. I was wowed, and so was Questlove.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. So there are so many good producers on this album. Louis Bell, who did Beer Bongs and Bentleys,
does a lot of Post Malone production.
Does a lot of Post Malone production.
Which makes sense.
He's done a lot with Justin Bieber before. John Bellion, who is one of my faves.
Love John Bellion,
and you can hear his influence all over this album.
Yeah.
Also, Skrillex is in there.
Love Skrillex, baby.
Benny
Blanco.
Benny Blanco.
He did one of the other singles. He did the song Lonely, which is like a really beautiful piano ballad.
Yeah.
Not my favorite off the album. I think it's kind of a downer, and it's like really on the nose of how sad he is. It also ends the album, which I think is
I thought that was weird because he's so
note.
happy and all the other things, and it's kind of a sad song. It was very odd
Especially
choice.
talking for like 40 minutes about how much you love your wife, and the very last song being like, I'm so lonely. I'm like, are you
Yeah.
though? I don't think so.
The rest of this album said otherwise. Also, Phineas is one of the producers for the song.
Billie Eilish's brother.
Yep, the production quality is awesome. There's some really, really cool producers that jumped on this. So that's one thing that, like, the more I've been looking into music and we've been doing this more, I've been looking at who helps write songs and who helps produce songs, because that is such a huge influence on what an album and especially what an individual track sounds like. Very interesting.
And I don't think that it should take away from the artistry of the, you know, the Biebers and the Beyoncés and the, you know, I don't think it should take away from what they're doing, because obviously they're still writing songs with these people. It's all a collaborative experience. But those people don't get the due diligence that they deserve a lot of the time. So I think it's nice to like look them up and be like, man, this person, because they create an aesthetic. They create a whole vibe for these artists. Like when you hear Post Malone, you know the Post Malone sound. And that's Lou Bell, man. Like he's created this thing. Like you just can tell when you hear certain types of production.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Closing comments. We again, the whole throwing MLK stuff in with the whole justice thing seems like that stuff should fit, but then the actual music itself doesn't lend itself to that at all. So if you just listen to it as an album, it is very cohesive. I think it's very very flushed out. It's it ebbs and flows very well with the slower songs and the more poppy songs, but then the MLK things are in there, and again, it doesn't detract from it. It's never bad to hear MLK, so there you go.
I think overall, I think this is like maybe one of Bieber's most complete projects he's ever put out.
Fantastic, yeah.
I think it's better than Purpose. I think it's better than Changes, his most recent one that he put out. I just think those albums have like good tracks, but then there's some that are just super filler and throwaway. I think this one is the most complete thing that I've heard Bieber put out in maybe ever.
Maybe ever. Probably ever.
I think this is a solid 8.5.
For a pop album, I think it's even higher.
I might be like a 9. I might have to give it a full
9.1.
Yeah.
For a pop album, this is what pop is, man. This is Justin Bieber, I think, at his best with all of these singles. There's 5 singles off of this already that are just bangers.
Yeah.
Bieber banging your ears.
Bieber banging your ears. I think I have to agree, man. I think I have to give it a full solid 9. I don't know. If it weren't for I might give it even higher if it weren't for the weird, like, lonely ending. I just don't, really just pulls me out of it.
It's a great song still.
It's a great song, but it just is very strange how it kind of goes, and then it just ends on this really somber note. I'm like, man, I really wanted something a little bit better, but besides that, there's just so much here that we'll be going back to and listening, and you'll have to also listen to because it's gonna be everywhere.
So, at the end, we will say thank you to Justin Bieber. Many thanks and appreciation for your artistry, and I am unashamed to say that I am a Justin Bieber fan.
I'm a Justin Bieber fan, and this was a Justin Bieber jam.
Wham Bam! Thank you, Jams!
Boing.